Welcome to Paint a Beautiful Picture. You ever known someone and they say, "Man, so and so, look at their house. It's so beautiful. My house, I just live in a shack." Hello, they have a 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath house, but they're a whiner and oh my goodness, someone else's is so much nicer. Or, Susie, she's so beautiful. Like, this is the pits because I'm so ugly. And you're like, dude, you wear a size 4 and you're gorgeous. Like, what is wrong with you? Or you're talking to a guy and he's going, "Man, do you see that guy's bike? Do you see that guy's car? Do you see that guy's woman?" Jealousy is a big thing. Like, people are jealous all over the place about all kinds of things. I want you to teach your child. And frankly, I really hope that you get this one down in your own life. Jealousy is a waste of time. That's a fact. I'm not telling you can't feel jealousy here and there because that's kind of normal. But if this is your life, if you're always looking at everybody else's everything else and you're so jealous because that's not what you have a problem and you're making your own life miserable. What in the world? Cut it out. And definitely don't do this to your kid. Okay, so let me tell you about this. I have a really good friend who is absolutely beautiful. And she spends thousands of dollars. I do mean every month, getting her nails done, getting facials, getting all these things done to herself, getting a spray tan, getting so many things done because she doesn't feel like she's as pretty as her sisters or a couple of her friends. She's trying really hard to keep up with all these people because she's so jealous of how they look and what they have. Oh my goodness, I've asked her more than one single time, "Do you have any idea what you could be doing with this kind of cash that would be helping someone else's life?" I mean, she has plenty of cash. Don't worry, it's her own business how she spends it. It's the motivation that bothers me, though. Like, oh my gracious, do you really want to live your life based on the fact that you're so jealous of someone else and how they look and what they have? Come on. This is such a massive waste of emotional energy. It is a human tragedy. I often think if people would take all of the energy they expend being jealous about what someone else has and put it into working hard, they'd have so much more within a couple of years. They wouldn't have anything to complain about. But you know what? They still would because they've fostered jealousy in their own heart. And let me tell you, no matter how much you have, it isn't enough because there is always a bigger house, a nicer car, a prettier woman, a more foxy dude. I mean, there's always something more. Let's be realistic here. And so, if you are fostering that attitude in yourself and you're fostering that attitude in your child, you are living a far lesser life than you could if you would just cut that out. Stop being jealous about all these things and learn to be thankful for what you have. Like when you get your child something and they're like, "Mom, I really wanted the blue one." And you say, "I truly apologize to you because I didn't know that you prefer blue." So we have two options here. One, we'll take it back because I have the receipt. We can get the blue one. Or you can live with this one. Let's give it a day and see how you feel. Oftentimes, if you've fostered a thankful attitude in your child and you've quelled jealousy, they may be very well content with the red or even find out that they like red better than they thought because they just always believed they needed the blue one. Whether it's a blue car or a blue dress, or it doesn't matter. You do what you can to satisfy them, but then you encourage them to be satisfied with what they have got. Let's go bigger. Okay, so you get this car. It's a great car. You've anticipated it. You've been excited about it. You're thrilled about it. You drive this car for 6 months and then they come out with a new model. And it has features on it that you've been waiting for and they weren't on the car you had before. Okay, so you're going to be jealous about this new car and who's going to have the opportunity to drive it, and the entire rest of the time you have your vehicle. And let's face it, you still got 4.5 or 5.5 years left to pay on it, and you're going to be miserable with it, and you're going to whine and complain and cry about it, even in your own mind. Like, oh, I can't believe. Wow, let's talk about setting yourself up to be miserable. What are you doing that for? And why are you teaching that kind of behavior to your child? Why don't you say, you know what? I love this car. I was thrilled when I got this car. I am so happy about this car. This car has great features. This car gets me everywhere I want to go. This car gets decent mileage. I got this car for a really good price. Wow, I'm so glad to have such a great car. Do you see the difference here? Really and truly? Okay, let's go to this. And man, have I ever seen this and heard this. So you're looking at a married couple, and you and your husband have problems. You argue, you carry on, there are things you can't agree with about the kids, whatever. I mean, you really have some stuff. Oh, I wish we were like Billy and Sally. They have the perfect marriage. I'm so jealous. If I were only married to this guy. Let me tell you a secret. I knew a woman once. Her husband's just a regular guy. Worked in a factory, didn't make a ton of money. They did have a really lovely home. She was a realtor. She made more than he did, but he was just a really good guy and he was a great dad. But there was no flash and no show to this guy. Okay, just a plain old guy that worked in a factory, wore jeans or overalls and a t-shirt every day. It's just who he was. There was another guy that we all knew. He worked in our church actually. Sharp dresser, looked great, talked great, had a cute little wife. And one day this person said to me, I really wish that her husband's name was so much more like this other guy. Wow. I kept my mouth shut. It took about everything in me to do it because I knew this other guy was a pedophile. I knew someone's child that he had molested, and frankly, he had tried to molest my child. And because of things I had taught my child came to me immediately, and I confronted this guy and went with him to my main pastor and dealt with this stuff. I mean, I knew what this guy really was in private. And she's like, oh, I wish my husband was so much more like him. And I'm thinking, oh, great Scott. If you only knew what you had, and if you only knew what a creep this guy actually was. So don't be foolish. Don't be so jealous that you're always looking over the fence and convincing yourself that the grass is greener over there. Honey, it's the same grass, and it certainly isn't greener. Learn to be happy where you are. Learn to be happy with what you have. And I'm begging you, teach your child to be happy with what he or she has. And I had to share a bed with 4 of my sisters when I was a little girl. So we had a massive family, and we had 1 bedroom for the girls, and oh my word, there were 6 girls, and 1 bedroom for the boys and 1 for mom and daddy. Oh yeah, and with all 10 of us kids and mom and daddy, we only had 1 bathroom. Honey, I lived in the richest county in the United States of America when I grew up. Okay? All these General Motors and Ford and Chrysler executives lived in the county where I grew up. I'm talking people with huge swimming pools and mansions. And then here I am sleeping in a bed with 4 sisters, right? Want to talk about possibilities of jealousy? Whoa! And my one sister, and frankly, it's still true today, was always jealous. I learned really early, somehow in my own mind, that was a complete waste of emotional energy. You know what? Some of those people were my friends. Oh my word! Robin, if you're out there and you hear me, girl, I still love you to death. I used to go to this friend's. Her name was Robin. Her dad was an attorney. Drove a really hot Jag. Used to take us down to Birmingham in that car. You know what? I would go to her house. We would swim. We would lay out. We would go to the mall. We would go shopping at places I never would have gone shopping at. But you know what? I wasn't jealous. In fact, I was thrilled for her. I really was. I was excited that she had that kind of a life. And there's the flip side, mom and dad. If you are going to be teaching your child not to be jealous, in addition to accepting what they have and being thankful for it, here's the rest of that story. They have to learn to be happy for the other person. I am so happy that you have a beautiful home. I am really happy that you have a nice car. I'm thrilled you just got a promotion at work. Whoa, for real. This will radically alter your life and your inner world. It will definitely make your child, if you teach him or her how to do this, a much happier person. So I'm going to give you an illustration. I am a nurse. I worked in a hospital. This little cutie came in right out of school, didn't even know how to start an IV. Forget knowing how to do an examination to find out if a woman was ready to deliver or not, because I'm a labor and delivery nurse. And you know what? In a very short period of time, she became the assistant head nurse on my unit. If I were a jealous person, I would have come unglued over this one, honey. Because, honey, she wasn't as well qualified. She didn't have the experience. There were a lot of issues there. Oh, and she wasn't really a great people person. But you know what? I was thrilled for her. I was really happy she got that position. And I can say to you that over about a 2 year period of time, she grew into that position. She did really quite well at it. You know, if I were the jealous type, I'd have been coming unglued. I'd have been a complainer. I'd be cranking up my own blood pressure and kicking out cortisol, whining and cry about this. What a waste of time. Would it have made her anything else other than the assistant head nurse? No. No. Just would have made me miserable. So teach your child to actually not just accept, but genuinely be happy for the other person. I kid you not. It's possible. We can do so many things with our own mind and our own spirit if we will. So teach your child when they come home and they say, you know, Billy, he got chosen to be the team captain. You say, that's great. Let's be happy for him. Maybe you could even send him a note and say, I'm really happy for you. Mom, are you kidding me? And tell him the truth. No, I'm not. I'm not kidding you. What are you going to do? Sit around and be miserable about this? Quit the team? Stop doing something that you really love because you're jealous of the fact that he's now going to get to be the team captain? That's a complete waste of your time and emotional energy. We're not going to do it like that. Or your daughter comes home and she's like, "Yeah, I got to be on the cheerleading squad, but I'm on the JV squad and I'm not on the senior squad." But she's only in 10th grade. Okay. Instead of letting her get away with being jealous and whining and crying, say, "I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. You made the squad. It's all right. You still have 3 years to be on the senior squad." Instead of letting her be jealous and run away with all that negativity and her emotions, teach her to be really happy for the other people and to be content with what she has. I'm very serious. It is possible to teach this. This is what you have to understand as a parent. Our kids do follow our example. If you are a jealous person, if you're always jealous of everything about everybody, that's what you're teaching your kids. You're setting your kids up for a life of agony and misery. Please don't do that. So I'm asking you, challenge question. Am I a jealous person? Number two, am I teaching my child to be jealous? Because I promise you, jealousy is a waste of time. Please stop today. I want to tell you this. You can't stop your feelings. I get that. Every single one of us fights with different things: anger, frustration, fear, anxiety, jealousy. I know it. But you know what? Just like every time I get mad, I don't have to take a bat and bash out somebody's headlights, and I don't have to beat the living daylights out of somebody because I got mad. I don't even have to cuss them and chew them. I can have a calm conversation and have emotional control. We've talked about that, control of my emotional state. You can have control of this. Just because you have that rise up in you doesn't mean you have to foster it and babysit it and revel in it and make it bigger. Don't do that. Say, yeah, I'm kind of jealous about this, but you know what? I have a very nice home. I have beautiful children. I have a good marriage. I have a very nice car. I have a good job. I'm very, very okay with what I have. And I can be so happy for that person who has more than I do, or something that looks better at least than what I have. Good for them. I know this is some meat, and I want you to chew on this, but I want to promise you, jealousy is a waste of time. Please teach your child to be content with what he or she has. They will have a much happier life. Thank you for joining me today on Paint a Beautiful Picture. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble And you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button.